Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to look at Knee Jerk. Now, this is a game for 4 to 8 players for ages 9 and up, with the average playtime clocking in at about 10 minutes per game. Now, one player will be the host in this game, while the other players will be competing with one another. Basically, the host will lay out cards out on the table, and will be trying to spark the imaginations of the other players, and the other players will be trying to rush to be the first one to come up with an answer. It's a little like apples to apples, but it plays a little bit differently, and will spark your imagination in different ways. Before I get into the gameplay, though, it's worth noting that this game will be seeking funding through the Kickstarter process on or around September 16th of 2014. So everything that you see here is subject to change. Without further ado, let's take a look at what Knee Jerk has to offer. Now, what you see before you is just a quick snapshot of the components. Just keep in the back of your mind, however, that prototype components are not usually reflective of the final product. For example, this is a manual here, and obviously there's a letter on one side and the instructions on the other. The final version won't be like that. It'll just be a folded up manual inside the game box. My deck of cards here has 51 cards in it, but I'm told that there will be 55 cards in the final product, and that will allow for even more possible combinations. Now, as for the cards themselves, each card has almost a complete sentence on it. You'll see it broken up into 3 different parts. You'll see, like, I feel panicked, and then in the middle here, at the prison, and then along the bottom here, because someone showed me. Now, you're probably wondering, why are there different colors? Why are there broken off arrows here? That actually leads into the gameplay. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like and how these cards tie together. Now, with regard to game setup, what you want to do first is pick a host for the entire game. And it's worth noting that games only last 10 minutes, so this person is not going to be the host for very long. In fact, the winner of this game will end up assuming the role of the host for the next game. The host will go ahead and shuffle the deck of cards, draw 3 for themselves, and then place 2 cards face up into the center of the table. Now, what they'll want to do, though, is line up the cards so that the arrows match. The first card will just go on the left like this. The second card, what you'll want to do is line up the arrow tips appropriately so that the colors make sense. So in this case, you'll want to put the second sentence right next to the first one. So on this card, the top sentence is used, or the top portion is used, and then for the second card, the second segment is used. So I feel like this could be the end at Area 51. Now, this is what the table will look like for the majority of the game, and during each round, the host will go ahead and take a look at his hand and see what card would best spark the imaginations of the other players. He's going to be basically paying attention to the bottom portion, or the segment in orange. So he could lay down because someone announced, he could lay down because someone cast a spell that, or he could lay down because someone showed me. And when he picks a card, let's just do because someone showed me. Again, you'll want to lay this card down so that the arrow tips match and make sense. So this card will end up going here. You've got this green arrow leading into the blue arrow, and this blue arrow leading into the orange arrow. And this is the sentence that you're going to be using. You are not going to be using the last 2 segments of the first card, the top or the bottom segment of the second card, or you're not going to be using the top 2 portions of the last card. You're only going to be using this particular sentence. I feel like this could be the end at Area 51 because someone showed me. Now, I mentioned before that players will be competing with one another, and that's exactly what's going to go on here. Players will be trying to rush to be the first to finish or complete this particular thought. I feel like this could be the end at Area 51 because someone showed me. And the first player to blurt out a valid answer, one that the host finds valid, will go ahead and win this card. So let's just say that, I don't know, player A over here said, because someone showed me a ship full of Jar Jar Binks clones. Well, that would certainly feel like the end of the world. So let's go ahead and just award that player a point. To do that, you're going to take the first card and just put it into your own score pile. These other cards will move over like so, and the host will refresh his hand back up to 3 cards. And then that completes a round. The host will go ahead, pick a new card from his hand, put it down here, and again, players will be rushing to complete this thought. In this case, I feel angry at the prison because someone announced. The first player to blurt out an answer that the host finds valid will go ahead and take the first card as a point. The others will move over, the host will refresh his hand, and so on and so forth. The first player to reach 4 points in a 4 to 5 player game or 3 points in a 6 to 8 player game will end up winning the entire game and will become the host for the new round. And there you have it, a very brief look at Knee Jerk. Keep in mind that this is a prototype, so the rules may change. For example, I think the game could be customizable a bit. The rules are open-ended enough to allow for some variance. For example, instead of the first player to blurt out a valid answer, how about every player just, answers something or writes it down and then shows the host these answers anonymously, and whatever answer the host likes will end up winning the point, sort of like in Say Anything. So again, I think the game is a lot more customizable than the manual is making it out to be. So as a result, I would say go ahead and take a look at this game. Again, it's on Kickstarter on September 16th. Go check it out. Pretty fun party game, and it's very easy and quick to play. There's not a lot of components to set up and mess around with, so non-gamers won't feel very intimidated playing this. So, with that said, check out my written preview at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.